Tonight I'm showing you the game number 1 of this book, Multiple Choice Chess 2. Previously I showed you a game from the same author that wrote this book, Multiple Choice Chess, and this was the volume 1. If you guys like it, please let me know and I will show you more games, okay? Game 1 is between Taimanov and Petrosian in Leningrad 1959. As always, the format of this book is that it shows you up to a certain point and then it gives you 3 or 4 choices as moves and you need to find the right one. Once you find the right one, it will be told you the score of that move. 0 point, -2, +5, no? And you write it. And then at the end of the game, I will tell you how much you scored, and depending how much you scored, what happened. For example, here it says from 14 to 27 your score is healthy, but try to spend more time calculating the tactics. So depending how much points you make, you will get a judgment and an evaluation of your way to play chess. This is very, very important because this book is based on something like 20 games. I think also the volume 1 is more or less 20 games. If you really do 40 games, you could become master level because you will start really to think like a master. You will start to understand what's going on, what are the problems in your game, what you don't see, and so you will be able to improve. So let's start right away with d4, e6. So remember, Taimanov is white, Petrosian is black. This was played in Leningrad 1959, and they were not the champions we know. For example, Petrosian wasn't a world champion in that time. Okay, so c4. This is an example of grandmaster psychology. The invitation to transpose to any 4 opening is declined. Yes, because when he played e6, honestly, I thought, honestly, this is a possibility and this become a French defense. But when he plays c4, in this game he played d5. But if he plays f5, you enter the Dutch. And you say, but what's the reason for playing like this? It's because in this way, practically, you have avoided the problem of knowing all the gambit theory. That it could be this, a lot of different moves that you don't need to know the theory once you have changed the move order. Okay? Okay, with that said, after c4, there is d5. Okay? Knight c3, bishop e7, knight f3, knight f6, bishop g5, castle, e3, and b6. Nowadays, the precise move order is h6, and only after bishop h4 does black decide to develop with b6. Okay, so this is the difference. Notice I'm using some Soviet pieces because this game is between 2 Soviet players. In the 1959 there was the Soviet Union, right? Okay, c takes d5, e takes d5. Here it says that instead of e takes d5, this line gives white a little edge. Honestly, I will not give it to you because it's not so important. Also because this book has been written, I think, in, let's see, it was written in 2002. It's possible that computers today maybe they could tell you something different. Okay, so bishop d3, bishop b7, queen c2, and now they are obviously aiming at this, because if you remove this, the pawn h7 falls, right? h6, bishop takes f6, and bishop takes f6. And then white continue with h4. Wow, this move is kind of very powerful, but in reality is telling you something else. Can you imagine what is telling you this move? Let me tell you, this move is telling you that white is gonna castle that side, because how does this is an attacking move, right? Against the king side, against the castle. You cannot attack if you don't have something protecting this, or creating, you know, at the right moment something like this and this. So clearly that move is telling us something that is not the castling short, right, on the king side. Okay, and sorry, in reality there was a note here that says white announces his aggressive intentions. Okay, it seems that the author and I have the same mindset, right? Castling kingside leads to far more restrained position where white seeks to execute a minority attack. So if instead of h4 he would have castled, there would be a minority attack with these two pawns against the majority of a black queen side. And this has a minority attack on the queen side and leave his opponent with weaker pawns, because that's the goal of a minority attack, to create an isolated pawn that then white will attack. Okay, so after h4, black played c5, white castled, and knight c6. Taimanov was proud of this encounter and even selected it as one of his favorite games. Can you duplicate any of the moves? Because at this point the author is saying it's your choice. From this point on is your choice. And it tells you, are you going to play d takes c5 or knight takes d5? Interesting. Or bishop h7 check, or g4. What are you going to play? So let's remember, d takes c5, knight takes d5, bishop h7, or g4. I hope you have paused the video. Please think enough time to find the right move. To me is kind of logical at a certain point, but here there are explanations, so if you want I can read you the explanation. But to me the logical move is g4. Why? Because you castle on that side, you push this pawn, at a certain point you want to attack, right? So, but let's see what he says. Okay, d takes c5 is wrong in principle, as it opens up the queen side for black to launch an attack. However, if you spotted the possibility to win a pawn and come crashing down the center with d takes c5, b takes c5, knight takes d5, this is very dangerous. Okay, you cannot take, because otherwise there is a discovery check. And yeah, obviously this fails to this check, no? If you saw all this continuation, it says you scored 1 point. This type of tactic is invaluable to many positions. However, in the same breath, take an extra point if you calculated that d takes c5 does not force the recapture with b takes c5. And indeed, black stands well after knight b4. Okay, so let's see again that position. Okay, so this is the position from which we had to choose the move. D takes c5 gives you 1 point if you calculated everything. If you thought to play right away knight takes d5, you are -2. Okay, you've lost 2 points because this is just losing a knight. Okay. Now, the problem with this move is that black plays this, and then that could be trap. Okay. After this move. So he says to take 1 point if you calculated that you want to take that pawn and that bishop, but otherwise And then we have g4 is our star contender for 3 points. So if you thought of this move, you write down 3 points, okay? And it says white leaves the center and queenside alone and begins to aim at the enemy fortress, okay? The enemy fortress. So that's why g4 is good. How does black play after g4? Well, he plays c takes d4. And now you have 4 choices. One is e takes d4, the other is knight takes d4, g5, and bishop h7. So here it's important that you actually calculate and remember that little trick that I told you, right? Because there is a discovery check here, so you can do something about it. Let's see how it works here, okay? Knight takes d4 is not so good, but score 1 point, and e takes d4 is the move to play, okay? Now, why g5 and the other are not good? G5 and bishop h7. So let's see what it says. In this case, g5 would be premature because black can release the tension with d takes c3, and in case you thought that you could play bishop h7, here it says that you have to take away 2 points. 2 points are gone, -2, okay, because bishop h7 wasn't good. The correct move is e takes d4, and remember it's 2 points, okay? Queen d6. At this stage there is a bonus for those who are aware that the white's pawn d4 is safe from the capture, as there is bishop h7 check, and the minor pieces, black minor pieces, go snuffling. He says, okay, so what do you play now as white? There are 4 possibilities, okay? There is knight b5, king b1, g5, and rook h g1. So these are the possibilities, okay? I don't know, honestly, rook h1, g1 is interesting because you have this bishop that is over that diagonal, so it may be a problem. But let's see which move he said would be the good one. So, would you have played queen b5? It seems is not a good move, and you have to take away 2 points if you thought that knight b5 was the right move, okay? Why? Because there is queen f4, knight d2, a6, knight c3, and knight d4. So it's a kind of messy for white and for Petrosia. Okay, so we said that knight b5 not good. Okay, next one, g5 can have 1 point, although black has a better prospect after, and here he has a very long line. So it seems that rook hg1 is definitely not the right move. Why? Still because of queen h4, sorry, and after knight d2 there is knight takes d4, so black has an advantage. Okay, so that's not the right move, also if it makes sense, right? What is the real move that black played? It was king b1. King b1 was the move to play. Let's see how many points score. 3. If you thought to play king b1, you get 3 points. Okay, 3 points. And let's see what he says here after king b1. He says it takes plenty of patience and experience to take time out from an attack to quietly place your monarch out of danger. So probably he was afraid of this, because once you put the rook here, it becomes a mess for white. So obviously that is a prophylaxis. Okay, it's practically avoiding a trap that will happen, and that's a fact. Okay, so after king b1, black played knight b4. If anyone was thorough enough to wonder what white was intending to do about queen f4, award yourself a bonus with a further on offer for those who calculated. After this, knight takes d5, probably, queen takes f3, and let's see, here it says bishop e4 as a powerful course of action. Okay, so this is an interesting position, yeah, because practically black gave material for something that we don't know if is able to win always with this line. No. Okay, let's see what happens. So after king b1, let me return back for a second. Okay, I think the position is correct, and in this moment white played king b1, which is it says what if course of action. Okay, king b1 was the move that told you score 3 points. Okay, so 3 points on king b1. After king b1 there is knight b4. Okay, and here it says if anyone was far enough to wonder what white was intending to do about queen f4 here, and I don't don't have queen f4. So I don't understand more. Yeah. Award yourself a bonus with a favor on offer for those who calculated knight takes d5. Okay. Well, I didn't think of a bonus in a kind of ring. Let's see. Knight b4. And here you have a choice between 4 moves by white. The 4 moves are queen b3, queen a4, queen d2, and knight b5. Okay, knight b5. So these are the 4 moves that you should choose about. I hope you will pause the video and try to guess. Okay, let me tell you what happened. There is so he played queen b3, we said, right? Knight b5, queen f4. Okay, so let's see if you decided to play queen d2. This score 2 points, okay, because it's flexible and is a centralized piece. What about queen b3? If you played queen b3, you get 1 point. If you played queen a4, there is a continuation here, which is knight takes d3, rook takes d3. So after queen a4, what do you get as points? Let's see. Nothing, 0, it says. 0, and if you play knight b5, instead it's -1, so you lost 1 point. Okay. Why? For this reason, because after queen d7, queen b3, you have knight takes d3, rook takes d3, and bishop a6. But it says also that probably black could play queen g4. So I don't know. Let's see if it's true. And here after bishop a6, this possibility score -1. Okay, so knight b5 not really the good move one was thinking. Okay, so let's see where we were. Okay, we are move 16. Move 16. Let's go back. Okay, so we are in this position, and here you have a choice between queen takes d3, g5, knight b5, and knight e4, it says. Okay. Let's see, because I'm curious to see which move he will choose. Also because it's black, so okay. Yeah, there's no knight e4, so it's white. Okay. Okay, so we are in this position. The possible moves are queen takes d3, g5, knight b5 attacking this queen, or here it says knight e4. I don't know, knight e4 doesn't seem good. Okay, it seems the only move that is good here is queen takes d3. and this is give you 1 point. If let's see, there are some continuation like G5 that make you lose 1 point, and what else? And also Queen D7, 1 point less, and Knight C4. If he was able to go on C4 with a knight, also that wasn't good. Okay, next one. So he took with a queen that horse, and he played G6. Okay. So what does white play here? What do you think white plays here? Okay, sorry, but we have to stop the video because it's already 25 minutes, and I don't think it will be a long way up to the end of this game. So please keep your score, and see you in the next video.